her chest again. Reba repeated, a small, knowing smile on her lips. Oh, the puppy? I am not threatened by you, Reba retorted, her own defenses rising. Really? Barbara Jean challenged, her voice sharp. Yeah. Then why'd you go down to the gym? What? Were you spying on me? Reba hesitated, then sighed in defeat. No. Okay. Yes. I went down to the gym because I thought there was something going on between you and Jordan. Why would you think that? Barbara Jean demanded, her voice laced with hurt. Because you've changed? Reba stated simply, the truth, finally, spilling out. I have not, Barbara Jean exclaimed, her hands on her hips. Yes, you have, Reba insisted, her own frustrations bubbling to the surface. Ever since you lost all that weight, you're pushy and obnoxious, and you always want to be the center of attention. Barbara Jean stared at her, then burst out laughing again, a genuine, unforced laugh this time. Hello. I've always been that way. Ben, from the sofa, piped up. She kinda got a point there, Mom. Reba glared at him. Yeah, well, something's changed. Barbara Jean's smile faded, replaced by a thoughtful expression. Yeah, the way you guys look at me, I'm still the same Barbara Jean I always was. I'm just less winded. Reba looked at her, truly looked at her, and a slow, uncomfortable realization dawned. It wasn't just Barbara Jean who had changed. It was all of them. Their perceptions, their reactions, their insecurities. No, she might be right, Brock murmured, finally finding his voice, a newfound humility in his tone. It could be us. He walked over to Barbara Jean, a sheepish expression on his face. I'm sorry, honey. Reba just got me all worked up. He trailed off, unable to articulate the depth of his shame and fear. Reba watched them, a profound sense of regret washing over her. She had let her own insecurities, fueled by Brock's panic, cloud her judgment. Look, Barbara Jean, Reba said, her voice soft, honest. The truth is, I think I went down to the gym almost hoping that I'd find you doing something wrong. You know, anything. So I could feel superior to you and your skinny, so I'm sorry. Barbara Jean stared at Reba, her initial anger slowly melting away, replaced by a look of bewildered delight. Sorry. Yeah. This is great. For the first time since we've known each other, you want to be me. Reba blinked, then burst out laughing, a genuine, hearty laugh that dispelled the last vestiges of tension. I don't want to be you. I know, Barbara Jean exclaimed, throwing her arms around Reba in a tight hug. It's even better. You want to look like me? Reba hugged her back, shaking her head, a smile still on her face. The air had cleared, the storm had passed. The truth, however messy, had a way of setting things right. Chapter 6. The Weight of Perception. The immediate aftermath of the gym confrontation was a strange mix of relief and lingering awkwardness. Brock, shamefaced, had spent the rest of the day trying to make amends with Barbara Jean, showering her with apologies and compliments that, while sincere, felt a little over. Barbara Jean, for her part, had accepted his apologies with a newfound grace, but Reba could see a flicker of hurt in her eyes that would take time to heal. Reba herself felt a profound sense of introspection. Barbara Jean's words, "You want to look like me," had resonated deeply. It wasn't just about physical appearance, Reba realized. It was about confidence, about feeling seen, about being new, pretty. She had always prided herself on being comfortable in her own skin, on a known-sense approach to life. But Barbara Jean's transformation had, in a way, held a mirror up to Reba's own unspoken insecurity. The next morning, the kitchen was quieter, the blender was silent. Reba made coffee, the familiar ritual, a comforting anchor in the shifting landscape of their lives. Cheyenne, looking thoughtful, joined her. Hey Mom, where are you going? She asked as Reba grabbed her car keys. Just gonna go grab something to eat, Reba replied, a wry smile on her face. I'll see you next year. She needed a moment to herself, away from the lingering tension, away from the sudden. Cheyenne nodded, then turned to Van, who was already engrossed in the TV. Hey buddy, what are we watching? No, we're not, Van grumbled, not looking up. Want a rock, paper, scissors for it? Cheyenne challenged, a mischievous glint in her eyes. Van sighed. Fine, let's go. You're gonna pick scissors, aren't you? Cheyenne grinned. Get out. Reba smiled, The familiar sibling banter, a comforting constant. Some things, at least, never changed. Later that evening, the house was quiet. Ben was doing homework. Van and Cheyenne were in their room, and Brock and Barbara Jean had gone out, ostensibly on a makeup date. Reba was curled on the sofa, a book unread in her lap, her thoughts drifting. Suddenly, Van emerged from his room, a worried frown on his face. "Hey, honey," he called out, heading towards Cheyenne. "Hey, baby, I need to talk to you." Cheyenne, who had been sitting at her vanity, "Oh, honey, I just got the TV." Van shook his head. "Well, I started thinking that maybe you don't think of me as new pretty, because I don't do enough to keep your interest." He held up a wig, a wild, fiery red monstrosity. "No, honey, you're way hot. Guilty. But anyway, I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So I bought a wig." Cheyenne stared at the wig, then at Vaughn, a slow smile spreading across her face. "Thank you." She reached for it, a playful glint in her eyes. "Cheyenne, put that down," Reba interjected gently, walking over to them. She had been listening, of course, drawn in by the familiar marital dance. "Listen to me." She looked at Van, then at Cheyenne, her voice soft but firm. "I think it's a good thing that when I look at you, Van, I don't see the beautiful girl with the killer ball." She paused, then continued, her gaze fixed on Cheyenne. "I see my wife, and I'm attracted to her whether she's all dressed up, ready to go out, or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas." Cheyenne's eyes, which had been fixed on the wig, now turned to Van, a flicker of hope and vulnerability in them. "Really?" Van's gaze was soft, loving. "Yeah, you're beautiful to me because of who you are." A wave of emotion washed over Cheyenne's face. She looked at Van, then at Reba, a profound understanding in her eyes. She felt a little silly, a little exposed, but mostly deeply loved. Van chuckled, pulling her into a hug. "That's also who you are, and I love it. Come on, you." He squeezed her. Cheyenne giggled, leaning into his embrace. "Where are we going?" Van whispered in her ear, a playful glint in his eyes. "Oh, we are going upstairs. Ooh." Cheyenne pulled back slightly, a coy smile on her face. "Hold on. I thought you didn't want me to wear that." She gestured to the red wig, still clutched in her hand. Van winked. "Sometimes I want to feel new pretty." Reba watched them, a warm smile spreading across her face. The new prit wasn't just about physical transformation. She realized it was about feeling desired, about confidence, about the ever-evolving dance of love, and sometimes it was about a silly red wig. The house, for the first time in a long time, felt truly at peace. Chapter 7. The Echo of Old Wounds. Weeks turned into months, and the H household slowly settled into a new rhythm. Barbara Jean maintained her healthy lifestyle, though with a slightly less evangelical. Her gym visits continued, but now Brock occasionally joined her, a peace offering and a silent declaration of trust. Jordan, the gay trainer, became a friendly, if somewhat flamboyant, presence in their lives, often joining them for Sunday brunch and regaling them with tales of his latest celebrity clients. Reba, meanwhile, found herself reflecting more deeply on her own life. Barbara Jean's transformation, and the subsequent family drama, had stirred something within her. It wasn't just about feeling new pretty, it was about feeling alive. She had been so focused on her children, on managing the household, on being the steady, reliable rock, that she had neglected her own desires, her own need for connection beyond the food. Her friendship with Barbara Jean, though tested, had emerged stronger. They had always had a complex dynamic, a blend of exasperation and genuine affection. Now, there was an added layer of understanding, a shared vulnerability. Reba had admitted her insecurity, and Barbara Jean, in turn, had shown a softer, more introspective side. One crisp autumn afternoon, Reba was alone in the house, enjoying a rare moment of quiet. She was flipping through an old photo album, a nostalgic journey through the years. Pictures of her and Brock, young and hopeful. Pictures of the kids, growing up too fast. And then, a picture of her, taken years ago, before Brock left, before the kids were grown. She looked vibrant, her eyes sparkling, a carefree smile on her face, a different kind of pretty. An old pretty, perhaps, but beautiful nonetheless. A knock on the door startled her. She opened it to find Brock standing on the porch, a bouquet of wildflowers in his hand. He looked a little sheepish.